Yo, what up? What up? We back. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy, The Real Don P, and I am here with episode 2 of The Black Nomad Wingman. You know what I'm talking about? Thank you. And today, our topic is going to be how to play the apps, right? I'm I'm framing it this way because I feel like a lot of guys aren't really up on how to approach being on dating apps in other countries. And I'm going to give you guys some apps that you can use in different countries. You probably already know about these, but I'm going to be giving you recommendations on what to use, how to use them, when to use them, because it's very important that if you're going to meet girls on apps, that you meet them at a certain time and a certain way. So I'm going to explain that. And then I'm going to also make sure that how to set up your profile, how to approach the dating based off the style of dating that you want to enjoy. You know, because there are different things going on these apps that a lot of men don't know about. And anybody, man, woman, whatever, there's a lot of different things happening on these apps that you don't know about. And you need to be able to understand how to approach this and how to make it work for you, right? So, yeah, that's what we're going to discuss today. Thank y'all for tuning in. After this joint, we're going to get into it.
I'm Don, the Black Nomad Wingman, and all I want to do is help people and the fellow bros who are traveling. And no, we are not passport bros. We are bros with passports.
Oh, homie, my little dancer, homie. Let's dance.
I spent the past year and a half traveling Latin America, Caribbean islands, Asia, and Europe before that. And the craziest thing is, before this, I would have never imagined I could do this. And the best part is, I did it all on a budget. You dig? I met some of the coolest people with the most wonderful and majestic stories about their traveling journeys. And on this channel, my main focus and goal in this video is sharing extremely useful information. I'm gonna tell you how to protect your peace, your heart, and more importantly, your wallet. Let's get into it. And please, like, share, and subscribe.
Okay, I'm reloaded. But for real, thank you everybody for watching today. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and to hit the notify bell so that you get notifications every time I drop. The Black Nomad Wingman, I'm here to help you. I'm your dating guide, your financial guide, and your sense of peace guide in overseas. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I've been able to drum up some Zen-like peace everywhere that I've traveled, and I've been blessed to be able to date in a lot of these places as well. So it's not easy, you know, but it's doable. And I just want a lot of men to know, or a lot of people traveling, not just men, anybody traveling, to know that, yeah, it's not easy, but it's totally doable, right? So today we are talking about how to play the apps, right? How to play the dating apps when you go overseas. I have a few things that I wrote. So if I'm not looking directly into the camera, excuse me, I apologize for that. But I want to read what I wrote because a lot of the subject matter, I wrote it down first, and then I'll just wax poetically as I go along and give you more tools and cues and things to do and advice in that nature, right? Advice of that nature. So how to play. This will totally depend on you and what you are looking for when you jump onto the apps. If you don't want a woman that is a liability, then you will have to be precise in what you want, and depending on what country you are in, you will have to translate it into their language as well. So if you're going to the Philippines, more than likely, they're going to be able to speak English, so you're going to be fine in that. But if you're going to Thailand, if you're going to Vietnam, if you're going to Laos, if you are going to Korea, China, Japan, you will need to for respectability. It shows that you have some respect for their country's culture by taking the English version of whatever you wrote on your app or that dating app and translating it into their language, because this makes it easier for them to read. You know, you don't want people to have to go and take a screenshot of your page and then to be able to read what you're saying, because also there's some things that are lost in translation when when you put it in English only and they do a translation into their language. So it's better if you translate it from English into the language that you wish to be received in, right? You know, it's easier. And also you want to like make it easier on yourself so that you can be precise, right? And you can be safe in your choosings. So if like you're not looking for a single mom, or if you are looking for a single mom, you have to be precise in that language. Like you have to let them know exactly what you're looking for. And then if you're looking for fun, like for instance, in the Philippines, when they say they're searching for fun, that means 9 times out of 10, more than likely, the girl is looking to be paid to meet with you. And that could be like, it doesn't have to mean, you know, SMEX or SEX, right? That can just be to meet up for dinner or something like that. Like, you know, to be a guy to walk around with you. Because there's a lot of guys that don't want SMEX, right? There's a lot of guys that just want girls to walk around with them because they're lonely or they want to be cool. But some people expect to be compensated for that. So you have to be precise in what you are looking for. If you're looking for fun or to have a good time, you have to let them know that that's what you're looking for. And especially if you are looking to be married, then you have to let them know that as well. If you're there and you put it on your app, you have to put, I'm looking for my wife, so that they know precisely what you're searching for and what you are seeking. And a lot of single moms also are looking for a husband to help them with their child. And you have to let those women know, if you're not looking to take care of someone else's child or anything like that, you have to put it out there that that's not what you're looking for, and that you can still be friends with benefits or something like that with that single mom, because you don't want to mislead people. You don't want to lie to people. You don't want to lead them on, because you're in a foreign country and these people can have cousins. These people can be a part of the law. And then, like, most importantly, it's just not cool to be a liar and a jerk. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to lie your way to get smecks or to get company. You just be honest, and you'll weed out the people that don't want what you're looking for, and you'll not get what you're not looking for as well, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for girls for fun, again, especially in Asia, that usually means P for P, you know what I mean? Which is pay for play, you know what I mean? I'm just letting you know, because a lot of people don't understand that. So you have to be very precise and carefully use your words. And when you're in the Philippines, you have to use simpler words, because English is their second language, it's not their first language. So a lot of the things that you write won't be received because that's not the language that they speak, right? And then also, you have to be straightforward and upfront so you can avoid some of the people that you're not looking for. Because on the app, a lot of girls, even if you put, I'm not looking to buy smecks, or I'm not looking to pay for, you know, for people's like relationship or people's company, you have to say that, because that'll rule out the people that's gonna read your profile. Most girls are just gonna swipe and they're not gonna read your profile. But if you are precise and you say what you want, the girls that will read it will, you know, move in kind. Like, they won't bother you. There's gonna be a lot of girls that are gonna be like, oh, well, he didn't want to pay for it because he hasn't met me yet. There's always gonna be that girl. So, you know, just know that it's not foolproof, and it's not gonna deter everybody, but for the most part, it's gonna deter a lot of people that you don't want to deal with. And you also have to understand that there's a difference in you being on the app in your country and in their country. And a lot of girls are looking for men who are not in their country on that app. Like for the most part, they are looking for a guy that's somewhere else who can send them money. And my advice will be to not send anybody money that you have not met, because sometimes those people aren't even girls. They're just people with fake pictures, fake profiles, luring you into a money scam. And you don't want to be scammed, because it's going to ruin how you move forward with other situations. You know what I mean? So don't even do it. Don't send money. Doesn't matter if, somebody says their mom is in the emergency room, they fell off a bike, they have pictures of them injuring themselves. This is all, like, not all of it, but 90% or more is a coordinated scam. So you don't want to do that, you know what I mean? And it's just to protect yourself and your wallet, because like you'll feel very bad, and then you'll have a bad taste in your mouth, and you'll go forward not pursuing women the same. You'll be a little jaded. It didn't happen to me, but I've heard of men that it's happened to, you know what I mean? I'm currently in Vietnam, where the dating apps are a little bit different, but I know in the Philippines, Thailand, Japan, and some of those places, there's a lot of guys who end up sending money to those girls, and they're heartbroken after that. You know what I mean? And then another thing that I'm asking guys to do as well is, if you copy paste your profiles, the thing that you wrote in your profile when you first match with somebody, I don't suggest doing this all the time and sending this to everybody, because it's not gonna work. But if you guys start talking, if you say hello and they say hello back and all this stuff, make sure to ask them if they've read your profile, you know what I mean, to make sure that you're a match. Because sometimes girls are just swiping and they're not reading your profile, and they don't care what you wrote there. They just looked at your picture, they decided that, whatever, they want to see what'll happen, and that'll be that. Some people are just swiping right on everybody too as well. So make sure to ask them, one of the first questions you want to ask after you exchange pleasantries and greetings and stuff like that. Make sure they read your profile, because that was the first point I gave you, really, is to make sure you're precise in your words about what you want on your profile. Now, the next job that you're gonna do is make sure that they read your profile, because if they didn't, you're just wasting your time, and they're gonna ask you what they want to ask you. They're not gonna be paying attention to what you want. It's gonna be all about what they want. And a relationship should be a two-way street if you're looking to build a relationship. If you're on the apps looking for P for P, pay for play, then it's fine. Just, keep it simple. Don't put a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? But don't expect every girl to be looking for that, or to be open and receptive to that. Some girls are going to take that as offensive, because some girls are not looking to sell their body, and some girls are going to be open and receptive to it. I would say just make sure that once you start messaging, you start to get to the point. You don't just keep saying hello and pretending to beat around the bush. Just ask her straight up, you know what I mean? So that you can know what you're getting into, and she can know what she's getting into, and it's easy. So now I'm going to talk about what apps to use. It depends on where you are, right? So if you're in the Philippines, you want to use PinaLove. PinaLove is a very simple app, but it's very straightforward and easy to navigate, and it's going to encompass most of the Philippines, and you can change where you are inside of the app. So say if you're in Manila, but you're going to be traveling to Cebu, then you can change your location inside of PinaLove to say that you're in Cebu, so that you can start talking to those people before you even get there. And the reason why I don't suggest doing it when you're in America is because, again, you might get scammed out of money. They might, because a lot of those girls don't really expect you to be there when they catch you on the app. So it's going to catch a lot of girls by surprise. So you may lose a lot of people in that way. But when you are there, you'll start to find that the first girls that you encounter are going to be the most aggressive girls. And those are usually going to be the girls that are probably selling something. And by selling something, I mean themselves. So you're going to, if you're looking for that, then you're probably going to find what you're looking for right away. I would say be very picky, and even when you do that, and to make sure that you have an agreement, and to make sure that you are only giving money when you meet somebody, because I've heard bad stories about people sending money and then a person blocking them. I've heard these stories. That's why I don't have personal experience with it myself, but I've heard these stories. So I just want to give you guys a heads up so that you don't make these mistakes of stories of people that I've heard. And then, okay, in Thailand, you're going to want to use ThaiFriendly. It looks the same as PinaLove, but it's a Thai version of the same sort of app. And it does the same sort of thing. Again, same rules apply, except for here, you're going to want to translate your English profile to Thai language. You know what I mean? You want to do that. When you're in Vietnam and some of these other places, they do have Vietnamese dating apps, but Vietnam is a little more rigid. So I would say continue to use Tinder. And here I'm kind of combining what app to use with when to use the app, because I was going to go over them as two separate things. But I think you guys can follow this all and catch kind of when to use it and what to use, right? Like you can understand me how I'm saying that. And the reason I like apps more is because I know what a person is saying that they, want to find by looking at their profile, and then they know what I'm saying that I want to find looking at my profile. Because cold approaches are good, and I'm gonna do a separate video on how to cold approach in different countries. But cold approaches are good, but it's just so many different cold approaches. Like say if you're not looking for a single mom and you just see a woman and you cold approach her, now you have to find out is she a single mom. And then once you get to that point and you're like, oh, we're not compatible, you've wasted so much time. At least on the app, you can let people know that you're not looking for that. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of girls are gonna hide that they are a mom already in some of these countries, because in a lot of countries, they can just leave their children with their parents, because their parents want them to find a husband or a mate or a spouse. Because usually when you find a spouse that's a foreigner, they usually are willing to help you or supplement you with money, and that money gets kicked up to the parents. So the parents are going to help. But I'm just telling you all this because these things are all relevant when you're approaching women on these apps. And then I'm going to tell you how to use or approach people on the apps. You want to make sure, again, that you're precise, you're saying what you want, and you don't want to lie, man. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. You have to keep it 100. Like, it doesn't matter if you're going to miss, you know what I'm saying, a lot of girls that you think are very good looking by telling the truth. Because most women aren't going to listen anyway to the truth. It's going to go in one ear, out the other, because they're thinking about what they want to get out of you. But I feel like at least you told them, and at least you will eliminate the women who are not looking for what you were looking for, and they are reading your profile. So you want to approach them in a way that's respectable. You don't want to be an asshole. You don't want to be a jerk, right? And you also want to say a few things. Like if you're looking for women, like I want to talk about gender right now. If you're looking for women in these countries, don't use mean or bad phrases like I'm not looking for lady boys. I don't like, this or that. You want to say positive phrases such as I'm searching for someone that is 100% woman, or I'm searching for a woman that was born a woman. Because a lot of these countries consider, even if somebody swapped genders, a lot of these countries consider, a gender swapped person as still a woman or a lady, which is, to everybody's to each his own. I'm not saying that they're not, and I'm not saying that there are. I'm saying that you have to be respectful and mindful of people who have made a choice, right? So you have to make a choice as well yourself. And the choice that you need to make is to approach it in a nice way. You don't want to be a jerk. You don't want to be a dick. You want to say, 100% woman, or you want to say someone born as a woman. And then also you want to approach in a more gentle way, because this is not the West, bro. Like, it's no reason to be all angry and to come off like crass or tough or mean. So if you're not looking for a single mom, you want to say something like, I'm I'm looking for someone who does not yet have children, but if you are a single mom, we still can be friends. I'm just not looking to date someone with kids. Now, that's a way nicer approach, and it doesn't make you come off as arrogant or a jerk or judgy. You know, you don't want to judge people for their choices. It's their choice. You know, they had a child. You know, not everybody is just out here popping children out because they're, you know, weird or a bad person. Some people really fell in love, had a child with the person they thought they were going to be with, and ended up not together with them, you know. So there are all sort of circumstances. This advice won't be like a glove, one size fit all, but I do think it will help you on the start to your journey in getting to know someone overseas and starting to date on these apps, but in a positive way.